welcome back to my cozy corner of the internet. I'm Mayastar, and this is the Mayastar Podcast. I teach energy healing courses online through Mayastar Academy, share spiritual guidance and mystical musings on the Maya Muses blog, and provide healing, ritual and spellcasting services as a starseeded shaman and professional witch. Today is episode 36 in the Mayastar Unscripted series, and we're going to be discussing the Christ Consciousness Flush Empowerment, an energy healing attunement course that aligns you with the high vibrational frequencies of Christ consciousness. We'll look at why we might want to connect with those energies, how they might transform our spiritual landscape, and I'll discuss how I've been working with these energies over the past week. At the end of this episode, I'll be drawing from the Lemurian Star Child Oracle for some starseed guidance. I'll present some ideas for reflection and meditation, and you can view the card for this episode's oracle on the Mayastar Podcast YouTube channel by going to the channel page and then to the Community Posts tab. As usual, I come armed with notes but without a script, so we'll be meandering around these topics and pursuing the scenic route to enlightenment. If this sounds interesting to you, stick around and while away the next half an hour or so with me as we explore these things together. Find out about the different ways you can work with me and discover my energy healing and spiritual development courses by visiting my website at mayastar.net, where you can also join the Mayastar mailing list to stay up to date with the latest special offers. So the Christ Consciousness Flush Empowerment is one of the courses that I've recently restored to the Mayastar syllabus. So it's one of the courses that I didn't transfer across when the website was updated, but it is one of the courses that I still work with. So of all of the archived courses, this was one that I always intended to bring back, because there isn't an alternative to this one. With some courses, like the Angel Journey activations, there are other angelic energies that you can connect with in a similar way, not the same, but similar, depending on obviously what you're drawn to. Whereas with the Christ Consciousness Flush, there isn't anything even similar to it within the syllabus if I didn't bring this option back. And it also works really well alongside the Healing Touch of Jesus course, which is an energy healing course within the Ascended Masters category, very much focused on healing, whereas the Christ Consciousness Flush is more focused on your spiritual awakening journey in achieving higher states of consciousness and aligning with your highest spiritual potential. Now, when we think of Jesus as an ascended master, we're very much focused on the process of ascension or spiritual awakening. And although there are many ascended masters and spiritual guides that we can choose to connect with, Because many countries teach Christianity or have Christianity as a foundation for their laws and social contracts, most people are familiar with the figure of Jesus. And he might be called by other names. Often within the New Age, we refer to him as the Ascended Master Yeshua or the Christed One. And rather than seeing him as the only spiritual guide that can help you to ascend, we see him as part of a team of spiritual beings that are there to support us in our spiritual and healing work. So many of the things that I can attribute to Jesus as an ascended master would also be attributes of other ascended masters. Frequently we think of Jesus as being associated with the sun, solar energy, and the path of the middle pillar on the Kabbalistic tree of life that takes us through that solar vortex on the pursuit of the highest spiritual connection. But the figure of Jesus Christ represents a kind of consciousness, a kind of awakening, a kind of alignment that's open to everybody, and we are all able to achieve those higher states of consciousness where we are more aligned with our spiritual principles, appreciating the connection and unity of creation and the interconnectedness of humans through their consciousness and spiritual energy. So when we connect with Christ consciousness, what we usually experience is a deep sense of love and connection, unconditional love that connects all people, to the planet, to the whole of creation. The activation of Christ consciousness is part of the function of the crown chakra, the highest energy center within the human energy field. And it's through this center that our individual energy, our own light body or soul, is connected to our divine source. So by working with the Christ consciousness flush, you're able to commune with that higher consciousness, with those higher spiritual realms that are the source of the divine within you. And by strengthening that connection to the highest aspects of yourself, you're able to bring your life, your habits, your routines, and the way you think into a better alignment with your spiritual reality. So you start really living from the higher chakras, from your more philosophical and spiritual self, where you're able to transcend some of the worldly habits, the worldly demands, and the tendency to slip into ego consciousness and competitiveness rather than cooperation, which would be more along the lines of the philosophy of higher spiritual consciousness connected with the Ascended Master Yeshua. And because of the solar association, This is a great energy to work with during your morning meditations, especially if you're able to get out into nature and see the sun coming up, which always makes a good opportunity for reflection as you consider the changes to the world as the darkness of the night is replaced by the brightness of the sun. And you're also able to reflect on the idea that every day the sun rises, and when it rises, it indicates that this is a new day, a new beginning, a new opportunity to start again and leave behind the problems and burdens of the previous day. So taking the time for a morning meditation, connecting with Christ consciousness, experiencing the remission of the shadows of the previous day as the sun rises on a brand new opportunity for you to start again in some way. It makes a powerful morning meditation. I definitely recommend trying it out. I mean, it's one that I do in my own garden, so it's a familiar scene every day, but the rising sun is always something interesting. That's never the same. It's in the same direction, don't get me wrong, but it's watching the sun come up on a day when it's very cloudy can be quite interesting because all you can see is a change in the light from one side of the sky to the other. And, other times it's much more dramatic and very colourful and brilliant. But every day it indicates symbolically an opportunity to start again. And anything that's been bothering you from the previous day, previous week, month, year, whatever, it's an opportunity for you to forgive the past and let go of those things and approach today as if it's brand new. Leave the baggage behind. Don't bring that into the new day, which started with the brand new sunrise, a completely unique experience, even though it happens every single day. And even on its own, that could be a very powerful spiritual experience. But by tuning into the energies of the Christ consciousness flush, you can make it something even more special, more healing, and an opportunity to progress your path consciously, deliberately, aligning yourself with your higher light. Now, with this course, you don't need to have any previous experience with energy healing. There aren't any prerequisites for working with this modality. And the technique is simple. It's easy for you to use without the need to learn complicated rituals or symbols to activate the flow of energy. And I feel this would be a great opportunity energetically for those who are feeling stuck on their spiritual path, perhaps not making the progress they anticipated or intended, or those that are finding the patterns of the past are repeating and holding them back from making real progress. Those times when you'll achieve something but then start reflecting on the past and explaining it away in your mind to make it not so profound. You start being a little bit cynical, and we call it growing up, but It smacks of compromise. And so connecting with the Christ consciousness flush might be a good way to bring your attention back to what you really want to achieve and get over those hurdles, the blocks and attachments that hold you back and prevent you from recognizing your progress. It would also be a great energy to work with around the solar festivals, the solstices and equinoxes would be powerful times to connect with this energy. And during the period of the year when the solar energy is waxing, increasing each day as the days become longer, that might be a very powerful time to connect with this energy. And if you want to work with this energy, combining it with other modalities to make it more of a healing transmission, you could do that through the orb of life or incorporating it into your Usui Reiki practice. Or perhaps if you use Kundalini Reiki as a morning practice, it's a very revitalizing energy to connect with early in the morning. It would make a good combination to work with the Christ consciousness flush energy after you complete the Kundalini Reiki meditation technique. Another energy healing modality I think would really connect well is the Wheel of Light Starseed Activations course for the higher heart chakra activation. The higher heart chakra is connected with compassion, forgiveness, and love, unconditional love, and all expressions of love, especially the spiritual kind, as shared through the Christ consciousness flush. So those would be great energies to combine within your daily practice. And perhaps also the Wheel of Light Starseed activation, Divine DNA Blueprint attunement, which helps you to align your energy with your original divine blueprint. So that could be a great combination with the Christ consciousness flush. And you can find all of the courses I'm talking about here on the Mayastar website at mayastar.net. Now we come to the segment for Starseed guidance. And today I'm going to be drawing from the Lemurian Starchild Oracle. I do have a couple of other decks that I will be working with in this context, but because this one's a new deck to my collection and one that I want to work with in a different way to the way I usually work with Oracle decks, I thought it would be good to explore these cards with you and share my reflections with you and see what guidance we have from the light beings that support us, in particular the Lemurians, that I connect very deeply with and which I'm sure many of you do as well. The Lemurians are always there to support us in our spiritual awakening, and they offer us wisdom, insight, and healing on our individual paths. Their message is always one of support and freedom. They encourage us through our actions to anchor our light into the physical realms so that we can make our own contribution to the evolution of humanity and our planet as a whole. I'm shuffling the cards further away from the microphone because I did notice that where I had them sort of above the desk, the mic was picking up the sound a bit. So let's draw a card for today and see what guidance they have for us. I'll describe the card, but as I said earlier, you can view this card on the Community Posts tab on the Mayastar Podcast YouTube channel. And the card we have today is called Dolphin Baby. Actually, it really looks like what we've just been talking about. We've got the bottom half of the card is sort of turquoise, pastel turquoise. I can see what looks like a dolphin and perhaps a second dolphin behind it, but the second dolphin looks like it's made out of light. It might be a spiritual dolphin rather than a physical one. And there's the face of a starseed with a white heart over the third eye center. And at the top of the card, there's a great sunburst with rays of light going in all directions, white and golden light. So I feel like this card really ties in with the Christ consciousness flush that we've just been talking about. Not just the bright sun and the solar rays or light rays coming off it and the golden colour, but also that heart over the third eye, looking at the world through the eyes of love, perhaps. But let's have a look and see what the guidance in the guidebook is for this card. Okay, Dolphin Baby. It says, Lemurian origin, flow, timeless, adaptable, free, take your time, aqua, relaxed. I travel to the oceans of Lemuria to meet the baby dolphins. In these oceans, I am simply myself, guided by light and bliss, and by the many sparkles and orbs around. And it also says, Lemurian star child, you can go with the flow of oceanic waves. You can swim with the dolphins. You can look at the stars in wonder while being looked after by your light family in many dimensions. You can adapt, shift shape and flow with your pod. Now that modern life has become ever so complex, with rules, regulation and time frames. In your heart, you miss simplicity and connection with nature. This is the reason that this card came on your path. Though you might not even be aware of your innermost desires. In the postmodern world, people have become used to separation and meaninglessness. This is the opposite of your nature, Lemurian star child. Your nature of oneness, magic, and divine meaning. This very much links to the course we were talking about, doesn't it? I really enjoy these cards. As you can see, they're very unique, aren't they? The meanings of the cards are sort of both specific and vague at the same time, but they really do describe the energy of the cards so well. That's what really amazed me when I first got this deck, is that every time I pulled a card and read the message in the guidebook, I really felt that the guidebook was very accurate to the impressions that I was receiving independently from the cards. Okay, so we have an affirmation that you might want to use today that comes for this card. I allow myself to flow in divine timing now, to relax into peaceful play, knowing that my dreams are coming to life in the oceanic waters of my existence. So if this message resonates with you, this card might be a good object for reflection or meditation for you for today. Consider ways that you can release yourself from some of the trappings of 3D reality so that you can explore your spiritual aspects, your creativity, and inspire yourself with some childlike wonder, a belief in the magic of the world around you. And I'll leave you with those mystical musings for today. And I'll say thank you for spending some time with me today. I hope you're leaving this episode suffused with good vibes and great ideas. You can hear more from me today by exploring previous unscripted episodes. And remember that these episodes are pre-recorded, and you can find my latest mystical musings on the Maya Muses blog at blog.mayastar.net. I hope to see you back here again soon, and in the meantime, I wish you peace, prosperity, and progress in all you do. With blessings.